itself to the body of the shark, which carries it about and also feeds. And while the remora not only attach itself for movement, it also feeds on the leftover food particles of the shark, while the shark neither benefits nor gets harmed from the interaction or relationship with the remoral fish. Then the next interaction we'll be looking at is predation. Predation is a type of interrelationship between two organisms whereby one of the organisms known as the predator kills the other known as the prey and directly feeds on it. The predator is usually larger in size and always stronger than the prey, while the prey is smaller and serves as food to the predator. Now we'll be going to the next factor which affects agricultural production, which is edaphic. The edaphic factor affects agricultural production include soil pH, soil texture, soil structure, topography, soil fertility, and then the soil type. Now we'll be looking at it one after the other. The first one we'll be looking at is the soil pH. The soil pH refers to the hydrogen ion concentration in the soil. It is used in determining whether the soil is acidic, basic, or neutral. That is, it's either acidic. That basic also can also be referred to as alkalinity of the soil, or the soil is neutral. That is, it is neither acidic or basic. The soil pH affects the distribution of crops in an area. Most tropical crops thrive optimally in soils with pH ranging from 5.5 to 7.5. Now, let me tell you about this pH value. From values below 7 is being referred to as acidic, and the values above, pH values above 7 is being referred to as alkaline, that is basic, while the value of 7, when a soil has a pH value of 7, it is being referred to as neutral. Soil acidity can be neutralized by adding lime, that is, such as limestone. The activity of microorganisms is also reduced if the soil is acidic. And to reduce the acidity, that is, to aid the activity of microorganisms in the soil, such as the aeration of the soil and pulverizing of the soil, we have to add lime, that is, we do the liming of the soil. Then the next one is the soil type, that is, edaphic factors that affect agricultural production. Soil types include sandy, we have the sandy soil, we have the clay soil, we have the loamy soil. Loamy soil is rich in soil nutrients, hence it is the best soil for agricultural production. Sandy soil does not contain enough nutrients, hence it does not support the growth of most crops, while clay crops encourages water loading. Although clay soil also has its own benefits in the sense that it has water retention and it also aids the growth of some crops. Then we have soil texture. The soil texture refers to the proportion of different particles that make up the soil, and can also be defined as a relative proportion of sand, silt, and clay in the soil. The ability of any soil to hold water or the aeration of the soil also depends on the texture of the soil. Sandy soil has low water holding capacity and is therefore not suitable for the cultivation of many crops except the cultivation of groundnuts. Clay soil contains very little air and is regarded as heavy soil, and it has high water holding capacity. Rice and that makes it suitable for the cultivation of rice, which actually requires, especially in the swampy area, that is where water is being required for the cultivation of rice. Loam soil, which is a good combination of clay and sand fractions, is the best soil for agriculture due to the fact that the soil we have an optimum water holding capacity, that is, it won't be in the excess, and then it will also have enough nutrients holding capacity that the plants, that crops and plants actually needed for their optimum performance. Our next topic is rock formation. Rock is a considerable mass of a number of various minerals. The earth crust is made up of rocks. The nature and characteristics of these rocks greatly influence the properties of soil derived from them. Just as I said that rock is a mass, a considerable mass of a number of various minerals. That is, that implies that the soil being derived from such rocks will depend on the minerals that are in such rock. When molten magma or lava cools or solidifies before it gets to the surface of the earth, they are known as plutonic or intrusive rock. Now I'm actually explaining why we have two types of rock. We have the plutonic, and then we have this volcanic rock. Now, when the molten magma cools or solidifies before it gets to the surface of the soil, we have intrusive, that is inside, or plutonic rock. Now, when the molten rock or lava cools and solidifies on getting to the surface of the earth, they are known as volcanic or extrusive rock. X means outside, which means outside the surface, that it gets to the surface of the earth and it can be clearly seen. Rocks are classified into three groups according to the modes of their formation, namely igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rock. Igneous rock. Now we're looking at igneous rock. Igneous rock are formed from cooling of molten materials such as magma or lava, extruded at high temperature from the interior regions of the earth crust to the near surface where the lava cools and solidifies. During cooling, crystals of different primary silicate minerals are formed. The rate of cooling of the molten lava determines the size of the crystals formed. That is, if it cools slowly, we'll be having larger size, while if it cools faster, we'll be having small sizes. The slower the cooling, the larger the crystals, and vice versa. If it cools faster, we'll be having smaller sizes of the crystals of igneous rock being formed. The major silicate minerals in igneous rocks are the micas, feldspars, and quartz. The quartz is a hard and transparent mineral which is extremely resistant to weathering, and when it decomposes, it produces only silica, which is SiO₂, which is a silicon oxide. Feldspar has a chemical composition of either potassium, sodium, or calcium. Feldspar are whitish, gray, or pink in color. Calcium feldspar is the most susceptible to weathering, and potassium feldspar is the most resistant to weathering. Mica has two important types, namely the biotite and the muscovite. Biotite is black or dark in color, and it is also susceptible to weathering, while muscovite is white or colorless and is relatively resistant to weathering. Examples of igneous rocks are granite and basalt. Now we're going to another type of rock, which is the sedimentary rock. The sedimentary rock are formed from the sediments deposited in the body of water. These sediments are held together by various cementing agents under the influence of pressure. Sedimentary rocks are secondary in nature, that is, they are unlike the igneous that are primary in nature, which are formed from molten lava or magma. That is, the material. So that makes igneous rock primary, while sedimentary, which are formed from previous material, are known as secondary in nature. That is, the materials from which they are composed are made were derived from the physical and chemical weathering of pre-existing rock, such as igneous rock. Examples of sedimentary rocks are limestone, shales, and sandstone. Limestone contains calcium carbonate derived from skeletons and shells of sea animals. Shale is made from fine particles of clay, which are later compressed and added into shale, while sandstone consists of particles of sand which are weathered from igneous rock or metamorphic rock and are compressed together to develop into either a quartz or fine sandstone. Now we'll be looking at the third one, which is the metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks may be derived from the metamorphosis of igneous or sedimentary rock due to heat or pressure or a number of chemical changes within the earth crust, which also makes metamorphic rock a secondary rock, also like the sedimentary rock. Metamorphic rocks are distinguished from their sedimentary rock counterparts by their crystalline structure. For example, granite which compress become different in appearance and is called gneiss. Also, when limestone, sandstone, and soft shales are compressed, changes to marble, quartzite,